was 18, I had one suitcase, a bus ticket, and a dream I couldn't fully explain to anyone, not even myself.
Hi, I'm Lily. I grew up in Ninh Thuan, a small province in central Vietnam. If you've never heard of it, that's okay. Most people haven't. It's known for its wind, its red sand dunes, its cactus fields, and its quiet. A kind of quiet that felt beautiful when I was a child and started feeling like a wall when I got older. I loved my hometown, and I also knew somewhere deep down that I needed to leave it. So at 18, I did. My parents didn't fully understand it at the time. My mom kept asking, "Why Saigon? Why so far? There are universities closer." And I didn't have a clean answer for her. I said it was for the university program, which was true, but it wasn't the whole truth. The whole truth was that I wanted to find out who I was when nobody already knew me. I wanted to build something that was completely mine. I wanted to be free in a way that felt impossible in a small town, where everyone knew your family and had already decided who you were supposed to become. I was 18. I wanted to disappear and reappear somewhere new. I remember the morning I left. My mom packed food for the bus like I was going somewhere there was no food. My dad carried my suitcase to the bus station without saying much. He's not a man of many words, but right before I got on the bus, he said, "Study hard, take care of yourself." And then he turned around and left before I could see his face. I got on that bus and I looked out the window and I told myself I would not cry. I cried. The bus ride from Ninh Thuan to Saigon is around 7 hours. I watched the landscape change the whole way. The dry red earth of home slowly giving way to green rice fields, then more traffic, then more buildings, then suddenly the city just swallowed everything. I had never seen that many people moving in that many directions at the same time. I remember thinking, okay, this is either the best decision I've ever made or a very serious mistake. It was both. The first few months were honestly the hardest months of my life. I shared a room with 3 other girls, all of us from different provinces, all figuring out the same city at the same time. What I wasn't prepared for was the loneliness. Not the being alone kind. I had roommates, I had classmates, but the deeper kind. The kind where you're surrounded by people and still feel completely invisible. I would walk through these huge, loud streets full of millions of people and feel like a ghost. Some nights I called my mom and just held the phone and listened to her talk about home, about nothing important, just the sound of her voice. That was enough. I also had very little money. I knew exactly how much a bowl of rice cost near my university. I knew which days the market had the cheapest vegetables. I ate a lot of instant noodles. A lot. I told my parents things were fine. Things were not always fine, but I was too proud to say otherwise. And slowly, things started to shift. I found a coffee shop I loved that was cheap enough to sit in for hours. I found a friend who became a real friend. I started to understand how Saigon moved, its rhythms, when the streets were quiet and when they exploded, which areas felt like home and which ones still felt foreign. I started to feel like maybe I belonged here. Not completely, not without effort, but enough. Just enough. University led to internships. Internships led to my first real job as an interior designer.
I still remember the first project I completed on my own. A small apartment, nothing fancy, but I had designed every corner of it. I stood in that finished room and thought, I did this. The 18-year-old who cried on a bus from Ninh Thuan did this. 10 years, 4 different apartments in this city, jobs that challenged me and jobs that exhausted me, friends I kept and friendships I lost, months where money was easy and months where I counted every single dong, calls to my mum where I was crying and calls where I was laughing. All of it. 10 years of all of it. And I'm still here. And because Saigon is easy, it's not. This city will take everything you give it and exam more. But because something in me needed exactly this, the difficulty and the beauty and the freedom of building a life completely from scratch, in a place that owed me nothing and gave me everything anyway. If you're 18 right now, or 20, or any age, and you have a dream that's hard to explain to the people who love you, I want to tell you something. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to get on the bus. The rest comes. Not easily, not quickly, but it comes. I'm Lily. I moved to Saigon at 18 with 1 suitcase. 10 years later, I have a career I love, a tiny 15 square meter apartment that is completely mine, and a life that sometimes still surprises me. And I think that's more than enough. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, subscribe. I share my real life in Saigon every week. And tell me in the comments, have you ever moved somewhere alone and built a life from zero? I'd really love to know. Keep you in the next one.